Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining me today in this workshop. My name is Jennifer Tasneem and I'm the Career Services Coordinator in the School of Chemical Sciences. Hope you're all doing well and staying healthy. Today I'll be talking about digital branding for my workshop. Bear with me if there are any technical hiccups. Hopefully there won't. Uh, but let's get started. So the agenda for today is I'll be talking to you about what is personal branding and also a little bit about why personal branding is important and then how to use personal branding effectively using digital platforms such as your social media platforms like Facebook, Twitter, and even LinkedIn, which is also known as digital branding. So first off, what is personal branding? Well, personal branding is the process by which we market ourselves to others. And when you think about personal branding, you may be thinking, personal branding, I'm not a brand, I'm a person. Why should I think about personal branding? Well, let me tell you this, even if you know it or not, or even if you think about it or not, everyone has a personal brand. And the question should be, should I have a person, shouldn't be if I should have a personal brand or not. Rather, the question should be, how do I manage my personal brand and how do I manage it effectively to expand my network and market myself to others. So personal branding is really a way that you can connect who you are to what you do right now as a student, or maybe what you want to do as a job seeker. So how do we use personal branding? Well, there are two different main ways that you can do personal branding. Firstly, there's the online personal branding, like I mentioned, using social media networks like Facebook, Twitter, even Instagram. And for professional branding, there's LinkedIn, but there's also the in-person personal branding where you're talking about yourself to an employer, either at a career fair or during an interview. But today I'll be focusing mostly on the online personal branding, which is also known as digital branding. So digital branding, when you think about digital branding, after this workshop, I'd like you to take a few moments to maybe do a quick little Google search of your name. And once you do that Google search, what really pops up on your search? Does anything pop up? Does what you want to portray pop up? Take a look at that and think about what you really want to portray yourself as to potential employers before you start making any changes to what is already out there. And this is really important because according to a 2018 Career Builder survey, approximately 70% employers use social media to screen employees before hiring. So this is a really big number, and you really want to use your digital branding and use the platform that is available to you to put your best foot forward and put the best version of yourself out there to potential employers. And like I mentioned, social media platforms are great ways that you can promote your personal brand. So for example, Twitter and Facebook are great ways where are great platforms where you can share things you do in your personal life. But there are also certain aspects of these websites or these platforms that you can utilize to expand your network and to build your professional brand as well. So when I'm thinking about Twitter is a great way to kind of build that community. If you're interested in a particular industry, for example, if you're interested in the food industry, maybe start following some of the big food companies. Or if you're interested in the pharmaceutical company, think about joining some of those pharmaceutical companies and following their updates by following those pages and seeing what industry experts post on their profiles or share on their profiles. It's a great way to really start building that community of like-minded people like yourself. And then Facebook, even though in Facebook it's a more personal platform, you can also utilize the pages and the groups on Facebook as well to start thinking about some of those things and expanding your network. So follow some of those companies that you're interested in to get some of their latest news, their press releases, things like that. And then using LinkedIn is one of the best ways that you can put yourself out there. And this is, again, really important because when you're doing that Google search, LinkedIn profiles are often one of the first searches that pop up in your Google search. So you really want to think about, if you don't already have one, think about creating that LinkedIn profile. And this is important, again, because a lot of people already have the social media of a Facebook or a Twitter account, but LinkedIn allows you to really maintain and separate that work life and that personal life. So when you're looking for jobs or when you're researching companies, it's a really great way to put your professional self out there through LinkedIn. And again, as I mentioned before, over 70% of employers screen employees through LinkedIn or through their searches even before the hiring process. So if there's information out there about the potential employees, which they might not like, there are over 70% of employers who have even rejected a candidate because of the information they found online. So you always want to be very mindful and careful about the things that you put on in your online presence. And I'll go into more of the details about the different sections that are available in your LinkedIn profile. But when you complete your LinkedIn profile and when you update all the sections, a complete profile is 40 times more likely to be seen by a potential employer or recruiter. So why should you not update or have a LinkedIn profile when you can put yourself out there and make yourself visible to potential recruiters? And LinkedIn gives you a chance to really tell your story. When you're applying for jobs, when you're talking to employers, first impressions are very critical. And it's within the very first few seconds that employers will have an impression about you and determine if they like you or not. So having a LinkedIn profile, and if you can put your best version of yourself out there in your online presence, you can make that very great first impression. So when you're making your profile, have that strong title and have that summary section, include keywords and specialties which really make yourself unique, and definitely make sure you have a professional photo. I will talk a lot more into detail about each of these sections, but I definitely want to talk a little bit about the power of LinkedIn first. So LinkedIn, like I mentioned, is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, professional network that is out there. And over 630 million members are on LinkedIn. And among that, 39 million are just students and recent graduates. So it gives you a great opportunity to connect with executives, students, and young professionals from all across the world, from many different companies. And 30 million companies are on LinkedIn. So any company from any industry that you may be interested in, the chances are that they're on LinkedIn. And when they're on LinkedIn, they're constantly and continuously posting jobs. So you can find 20 million jobs currently that are open on LinkedIn. And every day, every hour, by the second, these jobs are getting updated and posted. So definitely check out LinkedIn if you haven't already and start looking at these things. And like U of I is on LinkedIn, there are also 90,000 other schools that are on LinkedIn from all across the world, from every country imaginable. And there are over 30,000 educational related education related groups. So these can be groups which are specific to your major, specific to industries or things like that. So you can take advantage of those and start expanding your network. And you'll find executives from big businesses or big companies like the big Fortune 500 companies, ranging to small businesses, startups, or even independent and young professionals who you can connect with and build your network. So when you're thinking about utilizing your LinkedIn profile to build your professional brand, there are 5 top must-have sections which you should definitely think about including and updating on your profile. So I'll go into more detail into these later, but here are the 5 sections which are most important. Firstly, your education section, your photo, your professional photo, your experience section where you can describe the past experiences, jobs that you've had, and your volunteer experiences, which are also very important. And finally, the skills section, which really makes you unique. So the education section, I'll talk into more details about each of these. Why would you want to include the education section? Why would you not? Because as a student of U of I, this is what is currently defining you. This is the foundation of your career. And members who list a school get 10 times more views on average. So it's a great way to kind of list the foundation of your career. And when you're adding specific institutions, you can add your school, your major, and your degree as well. And you can, it also gives you a chance to include the clubs and organizations that you lead and that you're a part of. So you can update these things in your education section. So I'll be running through a few examples of some of these sections in my profile personally. So in my education section, I have 3 institutions listed. I received my Bachelor of Arts from Mount Holyoke College in chemistry, so I have that listed. But before I joined Mount Holyoke, I transferred from Wesleyan College, and I have that listed as well in my education section. And after Mount Holyoke, after receiving my undergraduate degree, I went on to Cornell University to receive my Master of Science in Material Science. So as you can see, I've listed all these institutions, and I've also listed the degree that I've received and also the major. And apart from that, I have my graduation dates and also the activities that I was involved with. So the clubs and the organizations that I was involved with when I was a part of these institutions. And then the photo section, it's always a good idea to include a professional headshot in your LinkedIn profile. And the reason for that is members who have a photo get 21 times more views on average. So when recruiters are looking for candidates for their jobs, the people who have pictures on their profile will be listed higher up than people who don't. So definitely include a professional photo. And really, when you do, apply for jobs through LinkedIn, and when you submit your resume or your cover letter, and when you have a LinkedIn profile listed, it allows recruiter to really make that connection between your resume and your cover letter, your application material, and to you when they see your profile. It really allows recruiters to make that immediate connection. And for the professional photo, there are some guidelines that you may think of following. So make sure the photo is of yourself alone. Make sure it's not a cropped photo or a selfie. Those can go in your Facebook or your Twitter profiles. And make sure the photo is good quality and you're smiling, the photo is good resolution. And maybe if you don't have the means to take a professional headshot, you don't need to go out of your way to hire a photographer to take a professional photo. You can ask ask a friend or a family that you're with right now, and you can stand in front of a neutral background or an empty wall, and you can take a picture, ask someone to take a picture, or you can go outdoors where there's good lighting. Just make sure the photo is a good quality. There's no distractions in the background, no cropped photos. As long as it's professional and you're dressed professionally, you should be good to go. But definitely include a professional headshot. This is basically what you'll find when you log into your LinkedIn profile. This is a basic overview of the LinkedIn profile. So you'll see your name, your title, your summary section, your pictures, things like that. And then the third most important section that you should think about including is the experience section. This again is really important because your experience section is what will make you unique, and it is a way to show and showcase your achievements and your accomplishments to potential employers and recruiters. And profiles with 2 or more positions are able to get up to 36 times more views by recruiters. Again, in your experience section, you can list your past internships, your summer jobs, maybe a co-op that you've had, and you can even list your executive roles in student organizations. But when you're including these experiences, definitely also think about describing the positions and your accomplishments. And you can do that by either writing your description and your position in bullet point format. I'll show you an example of the things that you can highlight in the next slide. So if you're including an experience which might not be directly related to your major or the industry that you want to pursue, you can think about including some of the transferable skills that you've developed when you are involved in that position. So if you were, for example, a cashier in a restaurant, you can think about some of the soft skills that you've developed. Maybe you interacted daily with customers, some of those interpersonal skills, some of those time management and organizational skills that you can think about including. And if you include positions which are directly relevant to your major or the industry, you can think about highlighting some of the technical skills. So think about highlighting some keywords and some of those skills that you developed when you were involved in that position. So if you had an internship at a pharmaceutical company, for example, think about the instruments that you've learned or some of the technical skills that you've learned and highlight those. And wherever possible, try to highlight some results. If you have some results that you've accomplished from your research, try to highlight them using numbers. Quantify your results wherever you can and make sure they're industry relevant. And another section which is really important in your LinkedIn profile is the volunteer experience. And this is really important because 41% of hiring managers consider volunteering experience equally as valuable as work experiences. And again, this is important because hiring managers know that as a first-year student or a sophomore student, for example, you might not have enough relevant experiences. So volunteer experiences are a great way to highlight that and show what you're really passionate about. So profiles with volunteer experience get up to 6 times more profile views. And it really gives you a way to show what you're passionate about outside of academia and your professional life. And finally, another section which is really important to highlight on your LinkedIn profile is the featured skills and endorsements. You can include any of your skills that you've learned in the positions you've held outside or inside your school, or even in your past internship experience. But be mindful, because LinkedIn only allows 50 maximum skills for you to list. So think about some of the technical skills that you want to include, some of the instruments that you've learned, some of the lab skills you've developed, some computer programming or software skills, and even think about including some of the soft skills that you've developed. And this is again important because profiles with 5 or more skills get up to 17 times more views. The skills section and the technical and the soft skills that you have are basically what sets you apart and what makes you unique. So when you're listing them, try to list all of the things that you think make you unique. I'll show you an example of the skills section, but when you're listing your skills, LinkedIn allows you to select 3 top skills to be your highest priority. So think a little bit about that and what you want to highlight in your profile. And you can also get endorsement from your peers and mentors. So if you work in a research lab or you had an internship at a previous company, you can ask your lab colleagues or your mentors from your previous positions to even endorse you in your skills so that you can get that additional boost in your skills section. So I'm showing you an example of the skills section in my profile. So since I work in career services, the 3 top skills that I've highlighted over here: career development coaching, student development, mentoring. So with you as a student in the School of Chemical Sciences, you can also think about some of those chemistry or chemical engineering skills that you want to highlight at the top. And I will also highlighted some of the previous some of the skills that I've developed previously in my research labs and my internships. So I've included some of the instruments that I've learned, for example, the microscopy and the spectroscopy instruments, and also some of the tools and technology and the programming skills. So I've listed the Microsoft Office, the Python, MATLAB programs, and also some interpersonal skills like teamwork, team leadership, things like that. So when you're thinking about developing and building your professional brand, just making your LinkedIn profile is it's not where it ends. You need to keep it up to date. Just like you as a student, your skills are constantly developing. The courses that you're taking are helping you develop those skills. Your LinkedIn profile will also be constantly evolving. So when you get these new experience and develop these new skills, also think about updating your profile. And one of the most important things that you can think about when you're thinking about updating your profile and creating your profile is the LinkedIn URL. So the LinkedIn URL is the personal link that you have on your profile. And I'll show you an example of how you can claim your personal unique URL. So when you go into your LinkedIn profile and go into the top right corner, you have the edit public profile and URL section in the top right corner. When you click on that, you can go to the public profile settings. And again, on the top right corner, you'll see this personalized URL for your profile. And you can edit this to include a short URL for, you can select this to be either your name or maybe your first name, initial, and your last name, anything like that. But make sure you customize it, because when you create your LinkedIn profile, LinkedIn will automatically assign you to a very long URL with a lot of numbers. So you want to make sure that you really customize your profile. And this also shows that you are attentive and you can demonstrate that attention to detail. Also, when you're updating your profile, think about including a strong title or a headline that shows who you are, also maybe beyond being a student. So I'm going to give you some examples of some titles. So first off, I want to start off with my title, for example. So I have listed on my profile that I'm the Career Services Coordinator at University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign in the School of Chemical Sciences. So I've listed my work title, the institution, and the school that I work at. Whereas some other examples are just very to the point. So for example, the CEO of LinkedIn just has that title listed on his profile. In other cases, people might also think about including their other roles or keywords that highlight their skills and their unique self. So for example, Angela Harris over here has listed experienced IT professional, STEM advocate, philanthropist, authentic Angela. She listed a hashtag that she uses when she posts things on her LinkedIn. So this basically not only shows her what her title is, but also shows what she is beyond her work, what she's passionate about. And another example from Oprah's profile, she listed that she's a CEO, producer, publisher, actress, and innovator. So she listed some of the many hats that she wears, and she also listed some of the keywords that highlights her professional career. And also with LinkedIn, you want to make sure that you're putting yourself as much as you can to potential employers. So you can also edit your profile's visibility. And you can do that again when you go to your public profile setting. You can make your profile public and viewable to all viewers, even to those who are not members on LinkedIn. So you can select these different options over here. And you can even also select the specific sections that you want to show to employers or not, or viewers or not. But definitely as students or as job seekers, I recommend you have your profile as public as possible, so that way you can really increase the reach, your profile's reach. And another section that's really important to update on your LinkedIn profile is the summary section. Make sure you have a summary section that speaks about you, your achievements, and make sure it's results oriented. So this is a quick guideline of things you can think about including in your summary section. Your summary section is basically a quick snapshot of who you are. It's similar to the elevator pitch that you will talk to when you're talking to an employer. So with, like you have in your elevator pitch, you want to keep it brief and short so that your viewers want more and they want to dig deeper and go into your profile to look at your experiences. And when you're writing the summary section, focus on mentioning some of the keywords which make you unique. So here are some examples that you can highlight on your summary section. So think about who you are professionally and think about including some of the technical and transferable skills we talked about and include those in your summary section. And also, what do you want professionally? If there's a specific title or a specific position you're looking for, you can also even list those in your summary section. And some optional things that you may want to include are who you are personally. You can list a hobby in your summary section, what you're passionate about. And if you have any geographical preference or if you're open to relocation, you can also include about where you want to work. So now that you have updated your LinkedIn profile, you've thought about building your professional brand, think about how you can expand and grow your network. So a great way to really build and expand on your network is by joining groups and pages which are relevant to the industry or the field that you're interested in pursuing. So start following groups of industry or the company that interests you. Follow these companies, join their discussion boards and join groups, maybe which have job postings or job boards. Join these groups, connect with alums through those groups and build your network. So let me show you where you can really update that. So when you again go to your profile, you can go to the edit public profile link again. And when you scroll down, you can go to the very end and look at the groups that you've joined. So when you join the groups, you can select and choose what, you can also customize which groups are visible on your profile or not. So when I was in grad school, for example, I was really interested in the cosmetic industry. So I joined a lot of these groups were relevant. So I joined many cosmetic chemistry groups. I also joined the Society of Cosmetic Chemists to really show to potential employers that I'm really interested in this field. So I'm really interested in this. So really shows your interest to potential employers. And also being an alum of Cornell, I joined the Cornell University Alumni Network. And you as U of I students, you can also join many of the U of I alumni networks, which are overall school networking pages, or also pages which are directly related to your major or your school. So for example, if you are School of Chemical Sciences students, I highly recommend you joining this University of Illinois School of Chemical Sciences networking page. And over here, you can connect with alums and join a network of alums where we post a lot of the events that are happening on campus. There are also job postings from us and from alums as well. So this is really a great option to expand your network. And another really great way to expand your network and connect with alumni is using the alumni tool in LinkedIn. So with this tool, you can find alums who work in jobs or companies or industries that interest you or that are relevant to you. So when you add University of Illinois to your profile, you can follow the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign's page, and you can go to the page, and if you look to the left-hand margin, you'll see the alumni page. When you click on the alumni page, you'll see all the alumni that ever existed on LinkedIn who are part of University of Illinois or who were a part of University of Illinois. And you can see all these alumni and see where they live, where they work, what they do, where they study. And you can really filter using keywords such as their work titles, your keywords, or any company that you're interested in. And this really gives you a great network that you can tap into and connect to alumni, maybe to get more information about their positions, about the company that they're working for. Yeah, so expanding your network, join these alumni networking groups, connect with people you already know, maybe connect with your peers in your classes, or if you're working in a lab, you can join or connect with colleagues in your lab, or even connect with people you don't know, for example, employees at a company you're interested in. And you can connect with people who you recently met, for example, at events or conferences, just building your network and expanding your network. But when you're sending that connection request, make sure you're following some of these things. When you're sending that connection request, think about why you want to connect, and don't just send them an invitation for a connection. LinkedIn allows you, when you click on that connect button, you can also personalize your connection message. And in that, you can express your interest about why you want to connect with them. Maybe you can request advice, information, or guidance, and show your eagerness and enthusiasm when you're sending that personalized message. And the most important thing to remember is that when you're sending these personalized messages, don't ask directly for jobs. Start building that connection. If you're connecting to an alumni who works at a company that you're interested in, maybe you can say, hey, I saw that you're an alumni at U of I. I'm a current student and would love to know more about your career path, and really interested in working in the company that you work for. Something along those lines that shows your interest and shows your eagerness, but you're not directly asking for a job. And when you send that connection request, if they accept, your connection, you can also request an informational interview. So an informational interview, if you don't know already, is a great way to connect with employees or alumni to get more information about their career paths, about an industry or a company. So it gives you a chance to develop knowledge about a company or an industry from your contacts. So in a traditional interview where the employer is asking you questions and you're answering them, an informational interview is where you lead the interview and you can ask questions to your contact and get more information. So if you're talking to a company, for example, like you're talking to an alumni who works at AbbVie, and they work in the pharmaceutical industry, they can help you learn maybe the lingo of the company. They can help you kind of talk the talk of the company. And this also gives you a chance to kind of validate your career choices. When you talk to them and get more information about their position, about the position or the company, you can make choices and you can get more insight if you really want to pursue that field or not. And you can even obtain additional contacts in that company. So if that alum doesn't have enough information, maybe they'll connect you to someone who actually knows more information. And that way you're again expanding your network. Also, informational interviewing is a great way to obtain referrals. So when you're sending in your job applications, in your cover letter, you can write in the first paragraph of your cover letter if someone referred you for this job. And that gives you an extra edge for someone who vouches you for that position. It's a great way to highlight that as well in your application packages. And that's important because of all the jobs that are available or posted, 85% of jobs get filled just through employer referrals or through word of mouth. So informational interview is a great way to kind of get those things. And also, it gives you a chance to get insider information about the hiring and the interview process, and gives you a chance to even build your confidence when you're going to talk to an employer during your interview. So using LinkedIn, you can not just build your professional brand or look or connect with alumni or employers, you can also directly apply for jobs. So you can set, once you follow companies or industries that you're interested in, you'll start to get updates in your newsfeed about the latest news about that company, or updates or press releases. And also LinkedIn will recommend you job postings that are relevant to you. So you can set up, when you go to that company's page, you can also set up saved searches, and you can select certain filters. For example, if you're interested in a specific position or a job function, or if you're interested in a particular geographical location or an industry, you can select those filters and really do multiple saved searches, and LinkedIn will send you alerts in your email when new jobs are posted by that particular company or other similar companies, for example. And also, again, like I mentioned, when you join those groups and company pages, you can also look at those job postings through the groups. So for example, I'm going to give you an example over here for AbbVie. So when you follow AbbVie, for example, you can go into the AbbVie page, and on the left-hand margin, you'll see the tab for jobs. When you click on that, LinkedIn will automatically recommend you a few jobs which are relevant to you based on the profile information that you have on your LinkedIn. So on this page, you can look at all the jobs that AbbVie has open right now, and you can also look at the very recent jobs which are posted, which are relevant to you. So this gives you a great way to look at job postings directly, either the ones that were previously posted or ones that are currently open, basically. And also, when you look into this, the people tab on the left, you can look at all the employees at AbbVie which have listed AbbVie on their profile, either their current or as previous workplace. So this gives you a chance to also, if you want to connect and look at alumni who work at AbbVie or who were previously working at AbbVie, you can start connecting with them as well to get more information and also build that network. Another really cool thing about LinkedIn is LinkedIn Learning. So with LinkedIn Learning is basically a learning platform where there are a lot of these virtual courses available that you can take or sign in and learn a lot of the new skills. You can hone on your existing skills, or you can develop new skills. So for example, you're interested in a job that you're really interested in, but one of the job requirements is that you need to, they require you to code in Python. Although you meet all the job requirements, this programming skill is something that you lack. So you can go on LinkedIn and look at all the courses that they have available, and they have a lot of courses available, and even a lot of these technical courses which you can take and build and develop new skills. So you can connect your LinkedIn Learning account with your LinkedIn account. And once you connect those, you'll get personalized content recommendations. So LinkedIn will recommend you courses which are relevant to your industry, and you can take those to hone on your skills. You can get insights on skills you need to succeed. And also, once you complete a course through LinkedIn Learning, you can also add that to your LinkedIn profile. You can add the certificate of completion on your LinkedIn profile, and it will be listed in your skills section. So it's a great way to highlight that you're taking the extra step to employers to learn these new skills. And one of the great perks of being a U of I student is that you can access LinkedIn Learning courses for free. So you can go to this website and log in using your NetID, and you can access all the courses that are available through LinkedIn Learning and start learning. So some of the highly recommended LinkedIn courses, I've listed a few over here. So there's, like this workshop, there's a LinkedIn for Students course that you can take to see how you can use LinkedIn to really leverage your professional brand, and also how you can update the different sections on your LinkedIn profile. There are other courses like how do you create a perfect elevator pitch, or there's a course for job hunting, informational interview, and many more of those technical courses as well that I mentioned. And also, if you have other specific questions about updating your LinkedIn profile, you can also go to the LinkedIn Help Center using this website and look at the FAQs and look at their tutorials as well. So finally, after this workshop and thinking about all the strategies that I've shared with you, I'd like you to take 5 minutes of your time to do a little bit of a self-reflection. Think about the things and the skills and your accomplishments that make you unique. Start doing a little bit of that self-reflection. And once you do that, take 5 minutes to maybe think about your elevator pitch and practice introducing yourself. You can do this in front of a mirror, or if you have a friend or family, you can practice it with them and see how that sounds, so that when you're ready for a career fair, when you're going to a career fair, you're ready for your elevator pitch. And then after this workshop, also take 5 minutes to update maybe just one item on your profile. And once you do that, keep that habit going, maybe weekly or even monthly. So that way, once you're close to graduation, you're ready for job searching and you're ready for the world. With that, I'd like to thank you for attending this workshop. We at the School of Chemical Sciences Career Services want you to know that we're still here for you. If you have any questions, you can send us an email. You can also call our office. We're still taking phone calls from our homes. And if you have questions for me, you can also send them directly to my email address. And also, thinking about the strategies that I've shared with you, about sending personalized messages. You can also connect with me and send that personalized message instead of just that connection. Also want to let you know that appointments with Patricia are still happening. You can schedule an appointment if you have questions. You can go to your Handshake at Illinois account and schedule individual appointments. And also drop-in hours are happening through our office every day from Monday to Friday from 3:30 p.m. to 5 p.m. through the end of the finals week. So if you have any quick career-related question or any question at all, just drop by for a quick chat. With that, thank you for attending. Hope you have a great day.